All right, great. Well, we're here with Glenn Kotche, Raj Mahal, and Stanton, singing with Santa.
That's correct.
And we're in the middle, we're right at the intermission of the Rockatelle, Bagatelle project, and we just wanted to get some thoughts about how things are going today. Glenn, I'm going to start with you. I just wanted to know, what made you get involved with me? What was it about this project?
I don't know. I think you caught me at a vulnerable time.
Did I?
No, like, yeah. It was the idea that I mentioned earlier when we introduced that it's a very odd concept for a show. And so that's usually something that is interesting to me. You know, if it's a little off the beaten path, something a little more strange, that means it might yield more interesting results. So it seemed like, sure, why not? And I know a lot of people in town who I thought could really put great spins on this concept, this idea of, you know, taking a little theme and coming up with a miniature 4-minute piece with it. So I'm glad to have a lot of people I've admired for a long time, you know, performing, and also some people I've been admiring just for a short time, brief time. But it's super inspiring.
It is. Yeah. And I mean, how do you feel about the show as a whole so far? I mean, do you feel like, you know, it's, isn't it?
Yeah, some people are blowing my mind. But
yeah.
Of course, any show with 20 or whatever performers is going to be a bit chaotic, but it's part of it all.
Yeah. So Raj, have you ever been asked to do anything like this before?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. This is pretty very different for me. But I'm really happy that I signed on for it. Actually. Yeah. It's been quite an experience. Like, horizon broadening. Yeah. Now,
had you heard anything of what the other groups were doing before today, or is this just like you came, you know, you did your thing, and now you're performing, and now you're hearing all this stuff around?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a brand new experience for me.
Yeah. And how does this compare to, you know, like DJing in a club or something? I mean,
it's totally different.
Yeah.
I felt kind of a little strange, a little out of place at first, you know, but then to hear everybody play, you know, it kind of just sank in that, you know, I mean, just to hear all this variety that I don't get a chance to hear was really a nice thing.
Yeah.
Nice thing.
Awesome.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Are you guys afraid of classical music, or were you? and then did this change anything so far?
Oh yeah, I've always been afraid of classical music, to tell you the truth. Just because it's just so distant for me. And, you know, like I'm not really exposed to it. I know my grandmother used to listen to it, but that's, you know, that's the best that I know of it. So I guess that it definitely makes it a little bit more approachable, you know, putting my hands inside of it, you know. So it was a good experience for that.
I wouldn't say that I was ever scared of classical music. I guess you could call it just naive. You know, being more of the rock scene, like you don't get too many shows that are so cross or pan genre, let alone like dipping into classical. And so this is really cool because, you know, we alternate between the Bagatelles and the Rockatelles, and it's just like the contrast is very much laid out, very much apparent, and just makes it's still really smooth.
But yeah, and there is this interesting, you know, kind of crossover between songs. You know, I mean, one thing that, you know, just strikes me is we went from Rob to that piece that I played. You know, that I can't even remember the title, Circular Eloise. And you know, Rob had this, you know, nice gentle groove going with the electric, and then, you know, I come in with this, you know, this kind of gentle wave-like piano thing with just these chords kind of splashing color. And, you know, there's so, I mean, the creativity is really kind of cross-genre. I mean, it's like we're all hearing these same sounds, we're just hearing it in a different language, in a way, you know?
And it's totally underscored by the repetition of those themes that
Yeah.
you hear, which is really cool because,
Right.
you know, over the course of an hour, you know, you're going to have sort of flashes of deja vu, and, you know, you're going to draw those own lines, those own creative lines in your own head. And that makes it really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
one thing I like about the festival is that, you know, I mean, I'm very much into rock scene, but I have a degree in classical percussion. But something I like about the festival is that I think it's really important to keep classical music valid, and relevant, and alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just celebrating dead guys' music. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's something that's great about this festival. It's taking the spirit of. It's not just about Beethoven's
Right.
music. It's about what he stood for, and it's about keeping it relevant.
Well, and you know, the thing is,
introducing new ideas. Into the
Beethoven
spirit
was a
of it.
rock star in his day.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's what a rock star was,
Mhm.
and there's no reason why any of this music has to be, in my mind, classified as, well, this is what most people listen to, and this is kind of a connoisseur's palette here, because and really I think in the classical music industry we always feel like we have to, constantly tell people it's not about that. This isn't a connoisseur's thing. This is just creativity like anything else. We just happen to be using acoustic instruments and doing it in a different format. But the thing I love about this programming is that we get a format that's right in the middle, and you're able to hear all of it just as this this one thing. And so no longer is it divided into this idea of jazz and pop and electronic and folk. It's just great music. Just really great music.
Cut.